everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and this time around I wanted to take a look at Creed 2. This is the review of the second film in the Creed franchise. I believe it would be the 8th film of the Rocky franchise if we're considering this part of the Rocky franchise. And of course, this is the sequel to Creed, which I reviewed last week from 2015. Creed 2 is from 2018. And I don't want to completely make this review just a comparison between the first Creed and the second Creed, but I do want to compare them a little bit just so you can see where my opinion's coming from. As a movie, all on its own, Creed 2 isn't that bad. But as an installment in this new series, or long-running series if you're counting the Rocky films, it feels sort of like a step back. The plot centers around Adonis Creed. He wins the heavyweight championship. That's at the beginning of the film, so I'm not really ruining anything. But then he receives a challenge from somebody from Rocky's past, and that is Ivan Drago. And Ivan Drago, of course, was the one who killed Apollo Creed in Rocky IV. That's a spoiler from a movie from 1985, so I hope you're not really upset about that. But Ivan Drago's got a son named Victor, and he wants a shot at the heavyweight title that Adonis Creed now has, and he feels that he's owed it because of the past that the Creed family and the Drago family has. And of course, there's the involvement with Rocky Balboa, and Rocky doesn't want to get involved, and there's this whole thing. So that's what causes a little bit of drama. Rocky doesn't want to get involved, and of course, Adonis is headstrong, and he wants to get into the, doesn't want to turn down a challenge, especially when he can beat the son of the man who killed his father. That's all well and good, but the first film, the first Creed, felt fresh. It felt like an updated version of Rocky. It had similar elements, but Ryan Coogler, who was the director and the writer, he kind of knew how to take those script elements and visual elements that worked so well in the Rocky series and update them for modern audiences and make them feel fresh. So while the film was predictable and kind of nostalgic, it worked. It felt comfortable. It was just one of those nice feel-good movies that you could get into and kind of root for somebody and enjoy. This is like that too, but it kind of misses the mark across the board in most instances. It's not as visually exciting. Ryan Coogler did not direct this one. This one was directed by Stephen Caple Jr. Sylvester Stallone co-wrote this with Joel Taylor. So, it's not really ripping off the Rocky films, but it's taking a lot of elements from especially Rocky III and Rocky IV. In some cases, some scenes are recreated almost entirely. It's just an odd mix of old and new with too much emphasis on the old, whereas Creed was a lot more fresh and new and modern. The direction on this just feels formulaic and kind of by the numbers. There's the standard, prerequisite training montage, and even that fails to get you excited. At least it didn't, get me ready for the last fight like it should, just because it felt off. It just didn't feel like, I didn't feel that Adonis was ready for the last fight because you didn't really see him prepare as intensely as he did in the first film. I can't point to a specific thing that's missing, but it just doesn't feel right, and I hope that makes sense. So while it sounds like I really didn't like this film, I did like it. I just didn't like it as much as the first one. Stallone and Jordan still have good chemistry. Their characters work well together on screen. Tessa Thompson and Jordan have good chemistry as Adonis and Bianca. Of course, Bianca is the love interest of Adonis Creed. The things that are thrown at their relationship are a little bit of a surprise, and it's kind of interesting to see how they react to certain things. And their reactions are a bit surprising a little bit, so that's at least fresh. It was interesting and rather good to see Dolph Lundgren back on the screen in a movie that wasn't found on the dollar store shelf. I know he was in Aquaman the same year that this came out, but you just don't see him enough in mainstream big budget films as often as he should, and he's actually really good in it. I really enjoyed his performance as Ivan Drago. You kind of feel bad for his character. I won't say why, but it's interesting. There's a few cameos in this that are interesting and kind of welcome. Good choices that were made there. That if you're a fan of the series from the beginning, those are really kind of a surprise and a little treat. I think Sylvester Stallone has proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that he loves the Rocky character. He's so good at it. Of course, he created it. It's part of him, and he sort of effortlessly becomes Rocky in this film. And that's not so much of a surprise. It's just he's like a pair of jeans that you like or a shirt that you like. It's just comfortable seeing him return to the role. So it's going to be a shame because I don't think he's in the third one at all. But anyway, Creed 2, not as good as the first, but still okay. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I gave the original an 8 out of 10. It's still better than average, just not quite as high or as good as the original. Still worth seeing. Still I'm going to go see Creed 3 when it hits theaters next month, but I'm a little worried. If they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for ideas by the second film in the series, I'm going to be a little cautious about the third one, so we'll see what happens. But there you go. That's my review of Creed 2 from 2018. As always, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching till the end. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe and click that thumbs up. That helps the channel out. And as always, take it easy. Thanks for watching.